Nina.
And Ashley back with the bullshit.
And this is the Young and Gettin Podcast.
Episode 54.
Oh my God. Just so you guys know, first of all, welcome back. Just so you know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Young and Gettin Podcast.
Whoa.
There's no G at the end of getting because we're young millennials, so we're gonna swag it out. Also, swag. Okay,
what you trying to say?
I'm having a stroke.
Okay. I'm gonna let you slide a little bit.
It's funny because we do this on like every once in a while. We do this on episodes where we just fuck up the intro and we never retape it, so people really know we're human beings.
Yeah.
You know. And so, you know, also you guys should know you can find us on soundcloud.com/WeAreYAGIP. Please follow on there, comment on there, you know, everything else. Also search us on YouTube. Just search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There is no G at the end. Please subscribe, watch our videos Breakfast Club style, and comment on them.
You can also find us on Instagram at YAGI_podcast. And then we have our website, www.weareyagip.com. And then you can also hit us up on our email, Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com, or text us or call us at our Google Voice number, which is 323-486-3811.
Yeah, they can text it too, can't they?
Yeah, they could text. You know what I was thinking? Like, when you were going over, like, your social medias, I was like, damn, I really don't know these shits. Like, I'm like, this is my shit, and I don't know it. I ever had to do it.
We have so much, because when you're doing yours, I'm like, no, I don't remember. I definitely don't know the phone number.
Yeah.
We have our parts. You know, when you're, like, a team, you have to take your parts.
Yeah.
And work on your parts and focus on those. She got that number down. I don't. But you know what? They gonna text it because she said it correctly. And I was looking at you because when I said Breakfast Club, I said it for the first time
the right
correctly.
Way. Proud of you.
It's like, yeah, growth. Episode 54.
You're messing up saying the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I kept saying breakfast.
Oh.
Like I'm having like a stroke.
At least you have the meal right, you know.
Yeah.
Lunch.
Lunch club.
Yeah.
Watch us lunch club style.
Dinner party. Back to the bullshit. And guys, oh my gosh, we have a special guest. Brandon Broady.
Yes, what's up?
Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
And so I'm going to say how I met you because it was actually really crazy. And I told you. So I go to the Hollywood Improv, the Monday night thing that D. Ray Davis hosts, and they like had like people, everyone was really funny. And like I just walked past you and was like, oh, I seen you on All Dev Digital. You guys are really funny. And then I don't know if it was like the same night, but it was like very soon after. I woke up in the middle of the night and you were on my TV.
From so many women. oh yeah, TV. Oh,
and
right.
Whoa.
Whoops. These breaks work. Okay.
No, you were on Laugh Tracks.
Yep.
And that was my first time being exposed to the show just because my TV was on that channel at that time. And that show was really funny.
He actually was the creator of that show.
Oh, hey.
Are you serious? That show's really good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we also have Brandon Broady's manager in here, Carlos.
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, guys?
Just talk loud and they'll be able to hear you.
What's up, guys?
Yay. So you created Laugh Tracks, so now I got to like talk to both of you.
That's just the hard part.
Yeah, I do want to, I always wonder like, we're just a family, right? How do you guys know each other?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, maybe dudes aren't for me. Went back.
I was just going to ask why you guys broke up.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm straight.
It's like, I'm good on dick sucking. I'm good, man. It's not for me.
It's hard.
Don't like the flavor.
It hurts.
It's not good. Not a good taste, man.
Somebody's dick is not clean, so
get in the shower.
We'll have some questions.
Okay.
You gonna let him throw you under the bus like that?
I guess when you moved out here, I was already here.
Yeah, you were working with a Laff Mobb.
Yeah, I was working with a comedy brand called Laff Mobb. I was kind of
Robbie Reed introduced me to Bob Sumner, introduced me to you. That's what it was.
Yeah. Robbie Reed, the great. She's at BET now, and she's amazing. And she introduced us. I was working for the great Bob Sumner, who's an amazing talent scout. He also curated Def Comedy Jam. For those that don't know, and found a lot of great comedians, and I was helping them kind of curate the next generation, and Broady was kind of a part of that class. And we did a lot of stuff online. Broady really was blowing up, and we took some ideas or some idea that came up with was taking some jokes and kind of remixing them. I used to do a lot of music videos in the past. From the Bay, I did a lot of hyphy movement, and kind of took that whole concept of music videos for artists to the comedy space. Because these guys ain't nothing but rappers and R&B artists in my eyes, you know. And so let's give them a hot single. Let's let their jokes speak, and kind of give it some life. And so I linked up with another director, Jamal Dido, and we put together some amazing stuff that blew up online. We had Tiffany Haddish on it before she was Tiffany Haddish, and they really did well online, and we leveraged that to get Laugh Tracks, which is now on True TV Thursday nights. Or all night. They be replaying them, so like late night, like you saw.
Yeah, it's like when you were up late.
It reruns like all the time. I just have it set on record, so it's just like recordings keep popping up on my TV. Like, so they play that show a lot, which is good. It's a really good show.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That
really
makes sense. Okay, like how you explained it, that's how I see it now. Like, it is like the music video version of comedy because they really like play out exactly what they're saying, and it's hilarious. It actually has it reminds me, even though it's not similar to, it reminds me of Drunk History.
Yeah,
that's
you know,
so
crack.
I'm like, I love it.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
That's an amazing idea.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, we knew we had something when we started blowing up online, and it's a great vehicle for comedians because they don't have radio. Comedians don't have VH1 and top 10 countdowns and radio station playing their stuff back and forth. So they need a vehicle like a Laugh Tracks to kind of showcase their talent. There's no more Def Comedy Jam. There's no more comic view or anything for the urban comics, and diversity in its entirety needs to be seen. And it was a lot of guys like Brandon who, even though he's successful as a host and all that stuff, but people don't know him as a comedian. They wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Brandon. They're gonna think Kevin Hart. They're gonna think whoever's on top. But there's that other platform. There's another platform for these guys to kind of get their cred and get their exposure up, because they do have quality stuff, just like the.
And the actors too. It gives them a platform, because a lot of actors move out here and they're doing a lot of background work. This is the time where they get to actually have some kind of like speaking-ish type of roles. And there's so many. I mean, the way the directors even want their scenes, they said that we don't want super beautiful, like pristine people. We want real-looking people. Not saying like they don't want manufactured looks. They want like real. They're going to be attractive people. But it's like relatable. We want relatable. So that person at home is like, oh yeah, that reminds me of my grandma, my whatever. It's like real-looking people, not like this made up woman that they now gave her old makeup to be a grandma for this thing. Like let's get a real grandma.
And let's get some real kids. And let's get some real midgets. And
I've seen those little kid actors.
Not those fake midgets that are like 6 feet when they take their fucking.
The dude on his knees.
They take their makeup off.
That's true. I've seen you guys have Dormtainment on there too.
Yeah, Mike is from a lot of those guys. So we used to run a room at the Comedy Store every Tuesday night, and so that's kind of where we incubated a lot of the comedians. And these guys were all trying to get on something, and we were able to kind of rally a lot of these this great talent together. There's like 60 plus comedians on the show. It's great opportunity. Like I said, with the comedic acting, guys like Dormtainment, who kind of fit the mold of what either the jokes are talking about or what's kind of happening. They fit right in because they're amazing. Mike did some stand up. They actually did their show on Tuesday, and we started working together from then, doing online stuff. But we a lot of little social media influencers are pop in and out of the show. Try to give everybody Jahans and everybody a shot to kind of show because a lot of those guys are trying to translate into TV as well. So this is a good kind of stepping stone for them to kind of get a feel for real, big production. We got the trucks out there. We shutting down streets. We renting houses and all kind of locations and stuff. So, they get to feel like, oh, I'm really on set. I'm really getting some direction. I'm really feeling, I'm in the real production. It's a good transition.
And that's why it's called Laff Mobb's Laugh Tracks, because it's like Laff Mobb's project, basically.
Yeah. Laff Mobb was, like I said, the brainchild of Bob Sumner. He created his own little brand after Def Jam, and kind of tried to, trying to be that urban voice of comedy. And like I said, I've been there for a while. I'm not there anymore, but I kind of helped build that out, and now we're doing, like I said, doing a TV show, and it's giving kind of catapulting a lot of comedians and giving them opportunities in a lot of different arenas that they normally wouldn't have. So we're happy for that, and I'm happy for Brandon, who's now, who's been actually hosting on Nickelodeon and writing, and he actually produced on Laugh Tracks. In the first season, he was pivotal at writing a lot of jokes and even acting. I mean, he was wearing multiple hats.
Yeah, doing it all, man. Cleaning the toilets in that bitch. Like,
getting waters and shit. He knows how I like my coffee now.
Yeah.
So you getting it out the mud, basically.
Yeah, right out the mud.
In essence.
Yeah.
I should pass this.
Probably turned it off.
Yeah, I just turned it back on.
They're talking about
holding shit.
It's good.
They're talking about their weed pipe.
So
weed pipe.
You know that it's funny because LA is known for like
electrical weed pipe.
That's basically what it is. LA is known for people having like multiple titles.
Yeah.
And like you already said, writer, producer. Like what titles would you give
yourself? I mean, I'd say I always go comedian first, because I feel that every opportunity I've gained has been because of comedy, and comedy is the thing that introduced me to the whole world of it. Like prior to that, I had no idea that I was a writer. I didn't know how capable I was. I just knew that I could write jokes, and then certain comedians say, hey man, you can write, and then that turned into just getting various jobs actually writing. And then after that I learned, like I took like a screenwriting class in college, but I wasn't like diving completely in. But then after I started realizing like I do have some kind of potential in that field, I started respecting it, which I did the same thing with stand-up. As I started reading screenwriting books and learning the structure, and just watching countless hours of videos, and just learning how just different styles, like how to write a pilot, how to write for a series, how to write a feature, how to write a comedy feature, how to write a drama. They're just the different tropes, and so, but through all of it, comedy is the title that I would just say I'm capable of. A lot, like editing. I shoot. I told him earlier, like I don't tell people unless the job pays a lot. I don't really tell people like I know how to shoot and edit, because
that shit's hard.
And once people learn you know how to edit, they hit you with the, hey man, you think you could edit this little quick 1 minute thing for me? It's not paid, but it'll take you no time. And then you find out that 1 minute thing takes 4 days to put together. I'm like, man, I should have never told you how to edit.
That's why I be trying to get her to understand sometimes. Like I'm like, look, I gotta make this, but I need time. Right, she's like, well, when can you have it? I'm like,
that's stressful.
That's a good idea. Yeah. This is the idea, idea of when I can have it.
Yeah.
It's all conceptual.
Yeah,
okay?
it'll be sometime in 2018.
Right. You gonna get it when you get it.
You get it this year.
Before you say Happy New Year.
Before the fiscal year's over.
Right. The fiscal year. That shit runs until like January.
Whenever you want it to run. Yeah.
Right. No. Right.
The fiscal year starts in March, right? Yeah, 3 more months.
After tax return. That's funny.
Did you graduate college?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
did. I went to Towson University in Towson, Maryland. So
I was like,
University of Maryland is like the largest school, and Towson is the second largest school, and it's continuously growing. And initially, I wanted to go to University of Maryland, and I got waitlisted. And so I was like, all right, let me just do my little 1 semester in Towson and then transfer. But I ended up loving Towson so much that I was like, man, I'm gonna stay through. And it was, I had my best, I obviously your college experience is gonna be, where you went, but like I had an amazing time, and I did get to hang out on other campuses that were nearby. Like, I'd hang out with Morgan people or Coppin or go to Howard or, Maryland, like whatever, anything is in the area. But people would come to Towson all the time to come hang with us, and I made some great long-lasting friendships, relationships, even with the professors that I'll go back and talk to their classes sometimes, which is real cool.
Are you from Maryland?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
What city in Maryland?
So I grew up born in Silver Spring, and then parents moved to Hyattsville like around the time I went to college. So I just, and then out here you just say DC because when you say Maryland, people don't even really remember or care. But when you say you're from like a major city, people kind of like remember that a lot more. If I'm out here, flossing Silver Spring, Maryland, they're like, oh yeah, like where are you from again? But because I'm DC, it's like it puts everyone together. And what I like now too is that the whole like DMV now gets more rep and understand like that's more of a brand. Like we've been calling it the DMV for a minute, and now I like that it's more nationally known as an area where you can be in a respectable area. So people from Virginia can get a little love too in that mix.
Yeah, Virginia's cool. I've been there once for like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
It's it's slower than California, and it's funny because people say, "Are you from LA?" And we're just like,
yeah, because you're not gonna know where we're from if you're not from California.
They don't care. They don't really care either.
It's not a thing.
Only
no
a
one
few.
gives a shit. Oh, that's great. Can I get that coffee again?
What projects do you have going on right now?
Right now, I'm just kind of doing my stand-up. I'm trying to put together a 30-minute. I want to put together an album. He's been on my back about getting that together, but it's I want to. For the longest time, I've been doing parodies and doing stand-up, obviously, and I haven't really put an album out. And I think now I feel comfortable putting that together. So, but the way I want to do it though is I want it to be like kind of a mixture of all the things that make me laugh, so it might be some sketches, it'll be some parodies, some original songs, and then stand up. So it's like it's not just your typical comedy album where it's just straight through. It might maybe I'll do straight through, or maybe it'll be kind of a mixture of like kind of thematic. So maybe there's a song and then there's a joke that kind of all fits in the same like section of the album. I don't know.
I love skits and albums. Like I remember when like skits
too.
were like such a big thing, and like listening to old Kanye and listening to all his skits he used to do, I'm like, oh my god, I love this. And it's like you don't do this no more, and you're definitely a whole different fucking person.
Nostalgic.
Yeah.
I think I like that. I mean, everyone remembers like the different ones. Like who's that? Who album was like whose dick you sucking? What was that? Was that DMX or was it Rough Riders? Or was it
probably
Cameron?
it sounds
was it Cameron?
if it's very vulgar. It's
Cameron.
probably one of them niggas.
It's Cameron, I think. I think it was what the fuck. I just remember this.
I remember that too.
Yeah, it's cracking up. And then I remember some. I think Cameron had a funny one on his on Purple Haze. He had some shit. I think some girl was calling him. And he was like, he was just mad in New York. We're like, what the fuck you calling me for, yo? Yo, B, you wildin', yo. What the fuck you calling me for? Like, she's like, yo. So I guess he got caught up or some shit and just put the voicemail on his album, like,
damn,
to shit on her even more.
Was it a real one? Like
I think it's real,
right?
Yeah, it sounded real as hell, man.
Snoop's one and Biggie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Skits, I think when they're done right, you can have some pretty funny skits. And people have asked me to put skits on their album, not comedy albums, but like on their music albums, and like, which is kind of like, it's weird because I'm like, oh shit, like I'm that person now that like when I was a kid listening. Now people are asking can you write the skit for my album, And
I never would have thought that is probably how some good ones were put together. Like they actually thought it through,
right?
Like,
D-Ray was on Kanye one, like heavy.
Which no, wasn't that Bernie Mac? I know Bernie Mac was on a song, and then oh shit, are you for real? Then I never knew. The more you know.
That's how good it was. See, that's the power of the audio,
Yeah, because if you don't see the face.
Yeah, because D-Ray's actually he's in the Through the Wire video.
If you
go back and watch that Through the Wire video, and it's crazy because at that time D-Ray was probably around the same or bigger than Kanye too. But it's like Kanye was like so grateful that D-Ray would be in his video. He's like, yo man, thank you for doing me this solid, bro. Like
But D-Ray's on that like. He's on a longevity track at this point because it's like I can't even see him like falling out of the game at this point. He's been on
He just gotta get on drugs like Cat Williams and then start telling people to
get on drugs.
Yeah, or get on worse drugs. He probably smokes weed.
Funny, he looks 35, but he's like 55. Like
I'm about to Google this shit.
He's
what?
Like in his 50s. But
are you serious?
Yeah,
he is great.
That's why he's doing game show stuff now. You know what I mean?
God.
Like,
is that where you go to retire or something? Like
you go to Vegas and game shows.
Game shows when you get older. Oh.
You know what? That sounds right. Like you get a stay.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Steve Harvey's doing every fucking thing.
Wait, how old is he? I didn't Google it yet.
Hold up. He was born in 1968.
Yeah, that was 50 years ago.
32, 42. He's 50.
What?
Holy moly.
My whole world has changed.
I was today years old when.
See the Young and Gettin this
That
podcast,
nigga
man.
50? Damn, he look good. I mean, like, what?
He's 30-something.
It's because he be fucking multiple
Jesus.
girls.
Whoa.
Men stay young when they
Okay.
be having a lot of
Oh,
pussy.
but you know what I noticed?
You hear that, ladies? It keeps us looking younger.
You said you're 52?
Just let it happen, all right?
I was about to say, damn!
Yeah, we're not. It's the
Nigga, what
threesome
kind of
isn't. It's
genetics
not
you
about
got?
us wanting to be with multiple women. It's about looking young. Don't you want?
The fountain of youth.
Yeah, that's the.
Pussy.
Yeah, literally, pussy's the fountain of youth.
But right, you need multiple. You need to dabble.
Yeah, let me sprinkle some of that.
It's
let
like
me get some
Glen
of hers
Ivy.
too.
You need the
Let me
hot
get all that.
pond. You need the cold pond. You need the salt pond.
Yeah.
I just
you need the-
imagine somebody taking like vaginal juice and smearing on his face mask.
Oh yeah.
And I was very disgusted.
That's
I don't
what-
want to think about this
Someone
anymore.
remade the what's her name, Jill Scott. Someone remade the Jill Scott, and they went like that, and then they were like,
Oh
and rubbed it
God,
into their
no.
face.
Put real shit.
Yeah, because sperm is like good for your skin. So
Right.
instead of her doing the little Jill Scott move, she just rubbed it in.
Yeah, I didn't get the memo because I got acne like shit. I've tried everything too, and I've literally tried everything but jizz, you know. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Shit, shoot
for
your shot.
acne,
You
you
can
know
do it
what I mean?
yourself.
Imagine,
and I'm like, where am I gonna get jizz
just
from?
imagine if
You know what I'm
taste
saying?
it though, it
Like,
just drips on your tongue. You're like,
Well, now you know how girls feel.
right.
Yeah,
It's like,
you know?
no, you'll be like, damn, I need to drink more water.
My shit's salty as fuck.
It's like either use African soap or jizz. Like which way do you want to go?
A mix.
Yeah.
Which one's cheaper?
Melt that bitch down. The African soap about 2 cents. Melt that shit. I mean, the jizz is free.
Jizz is free.
Blend that
You know?
together.
You got your own
I
resources.
can produce
You
it
know?
myself.
And just be
I
in the
don't
factory.
have to go to the store. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
We went so left.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
so
that's
funny.
not okay.
This is brought to you by the First Zion Baptist Church.
On a Sunday.
Right.
On
I
a Sunday,
know.
like
Niggas all miss church today.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't want to go to that 7 a.m.
We gotta look at
y'all
God
made an
later.
excuse. Like y'all could have scheduled this anytime. You're like, let's schedule it during church so we don't have to go to church. Like, I wish I could,
Sunday,
God,
Sunday.
but you know, I got the whole
I'm
podcast
busy.
thing.
No, because we'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, when you free Sunday
Mhm.
morning?
You're not gonna be on the Godcast because you fucking around with that podcast.
Godcast.
It's that damn podcast. It's that damn poem.
Hello.
Just keeps following on the wrong day, you know? I just don't know what to do.
Every Sunday,
What
Lord
they
God,
gonna
I
do?
swear.
So you had a show, you said this Wednesday and Friday.
Yes. Wednesday, I was at the Laugh Factory, so I've been hosting a show. Looks like it's going to be monthly at Laugh Factory, so it's uncut comedy, and it's basically just another nigga night, you know?
Okay.
So you get a good
Love it.
cast of, you know, urban or urban-style comedians, and I say that in a way, like, you get more of the act out, really animated, you know? It's a real
Mhm.
animated night, very, very raw. And then Friday, hosted another show. It's called Comedy Buds that actually Carlos put together at the LA Aleworks Brewery, and that show's we've been doing it since the summer. It's been almost like, you know, twice a month, and it's just building, and it's a really awesome show because it's one of those shows where I like it that it's free, first of all, and it's like it has a brewery feel in there, so people kind of feel like people who aren't used to comedy can kind of get to like see what it's about. They're already drinking, so they're laughing hard,
Yeah.
and it's
Everything's
just
funny.
I throw
Yeah.
down a lot of Casamigos during a comedy show.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good tequila, man.
Yeah.
No, but I like it that it's like just, you know, so Carlos and Hassani, they you know, really worked
What
hard.
Hassani look like? Because
Hassani?
somebody named Hassani paid for my meal last week.
It might
Well,
have
it's
been
crazy.
her. Hassani.
Oh, it's a girl? Okay, never mind.
girl?
This was a man.
Oh, it was a man.
Yeah.
Pay it
Did you tell your
forward.
boyfriend about that?
He was with me.
Oh, okay, cool.
He paid for both
For
of
both
us.
your meals? Shit. Well, maybe
He paid it for.
is he trying to be in some kind of 3 relationship?
Shit. His wife was there. I hope not.
You know, out there in LA, man.
Maybe swingers. Yeah. Was it
Man.
Will and Jada?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this story is getting interesting now.
Tell us more. What happened after that?
right.
I know, right?
Well, you know, we got in his Mercedes and went to his mansion.
Go on, continue.
Yeah.
He had a goat.
A goat. Oh shit.
None of that happened.
No,
Wow.
nothing, none at all.
Get into
She
that
went a
goat
whole
stuff.
story.
Right. So convincing.
Goat, baby goat massages.
I heard
That
it.
shit's stupid.
That
Like
looks
goat
painful.
yoga. Who wants to do that?
Goat yoga, yeah.
It's got to be
That's
some kind of. I
stupid.
mean, but
Oh
why-
yeah, where don't they fart in your face or?
They be peeing on
They
you.
be
They
peeing
be
and
dropping
stuff.
them little fucking pellets. I'm not trying to do yoga and shit.
Yeah, why are we paying goats to do that when I could?
That shit stinks.
Let me walk on your back.
I can use $8.
Right.
$8. That sucks. If your minimum wage is still $8, I feel bad for you.
$8.65.
In some places, that shit's still $2 something.
What?
Yeah.
I think
it has to be Wyoming.
Like Peru.
Where? Wyoming? Honduras?
I can't. Honduras.
Okay,
somewhere in Mexico?
Because I saw some one of these Instagram people. You know who Blame It On Quay is, right?
Yeah.
He is opening like a seafood place.
Oh, cool.
In Houston. But he wrote in his post, he was all like, "Oh, we ain't paying $2 something minimum wage here," and I was like, "They paid that low?"
Like that's a real thing.
Fuck. But then again, like
assume.
in Houston, you know, the cost of living is probably a lot cheaper. Like I
Yeah.
think you get a house for like $46. Like you can get a fucking two
with
bedroom.
a big ass backyard.
Yeah, fucking 2-car driveway. Like yeah.
Okay.
You get a whole plot. You get like an acre. You get at least
Go
an
put a
acre.
quarter.
Yeah.
Give me a quarter acre for a quarter.
Right.
Just need 580 credit.
So you
Right.
Ooh.
right. You can get a fucking house on
Shit.
Groupon.
I remember when mine used to be that low.
Man, back in those college days,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
When you
It's so
didn't pay your
expensive.
credit card bill.
And you
credit
thought-
score on hurt.
You thought paying the minimum every time was okay?
Before you knew. We
Yeah.
ain't running up no rags.
They're calling me too, man. They're calling me from fucking 0000 numbers now, man.
Whoa.
That's the
They're
scariest
like-
ones, yo. You know, that's when they really want their
That's
money.
the FBI.
That's the devil.
Yeah,
No, that's the IRS
Easily,
directly.
easily Satan's phone numbers, all zeros. Yeah.
All zeros. That
Yeah.
sound like Satan.
Literally, it's
You
like
can't
10
call us
zeros
back
coming
here.
through. Yeah, no way.
The whole internet calling.
Yeah, it's like it looks. I feel like Neo and shit, just Matrix on my phone. I'm like, whoa, shit, I'm the one that owes y'all money.
No, it just pops up and then it picks up itself. It's like, pick up the
And
phone.
puts it on
Pick up.
speaker. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, nigga, where's the fucking money? Where is it at?
That's
on
a
the-
satanic ass phone number.
Man.
I see 00.
Seriously, restricted keeps calling me too.
Well, yeah, that,
You know, and restricted
you know,
calls. That's
someone posted about this the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this shit happens to me too." Like a number
Oh,
with
yeah.
our area code, not area
Yeah.
code, but like our.
And then the first
And they're asking for
3
money,
of your
right?
number.
that's the trick.
and
'Cause
then who the fuck are these people?
they're asking if they need money. You owe some shit.
No,
Nora
no, I don't wanna
Martinez
pick
gave
up.
out my
Huh?
phone number.
Nah, I'm serious. 'Cause I get that too.
Yeah,
Huh?
they always call my phone asking for Nora Martinez. She owes a lot of
Nora
shit.
Martinez.
Yeah,
What the
Nora
fuck
Martinez.
is she doing, man?
I will beat your ass.
Yeah,
What if she's
fucking-
dead?
Why would she ever have my number? I've had it since the 6th grade, and this
But
shit just
they're-
started.
You said they're asking for Nora Martinez.
Yeah, and then they're asking
what
for
I'm saying, like,
money.
She's
What
getting
if-
into a
what if
lot of
she's
trouble,
dead?
huh?
I don't know. She probably stole something.
She's probably
Shit.
missing.
Well, my phone is actually
No.
my brother's.
No.
They've been calling you since middle school. That
No.
bitch ain't been found.
Right.
They started calling me like a year ago, not
Girl.
since middle school.
Oh, I've been since middle school.
No, I'm saying
Just-
I've had
just-
this
just
number
play
since
it.
middle school.
Just play like your Nora Martinez when they like, hola, ¿qué pasó?
And it's really
No.
sometimes it's Mexican people too. So I'm like,
Is it Nora? Yes.
My name is Carlos. They have Mexican people call me.
For real?
Oh, that's funny.
that's racist as fuck.
No English.
You have nothing to do with it. Yeah.
No hablo. Español.
Just start saying lo siento.
No,
Gracias.
Lo siento, no.
No, no entiendo.
He no live here.
No.
He don't live here, no.
Consuela, what's her name? On
All
Family
the
Guy.
I was
What's
just
her
thinking
name?
about
Lola?
her.
It's Consuela.
Consuela. That is, yep.
That's
That's
actual
perfect.
very
No,
stereotypical
Yes, it
name
is.
also.
Griffin, no, Mr. Griffin, no.
This is a good time for if you didn't have any more questions, a good time for Black Business of the Week.
Popeyes, well, we got that. Okay.
I was gonna roll with it. We've done a fake one before.
Yeah, we have.
That shit was funny.
Yo, this is Carlos Koustas, creator of Laugh Tracks on True TV, and I'm on the Young and Gettin It podcast. And my black business of the day is Underground Beach Club. It's a black men's swimwear. They're doing really dope stuff. It's really fitted for black men.
Does that mean Big Johnsons?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how are these different?
Yeah, because you know
They're
the
a
net
little-
in those other
they're-
swim trunks, man.
they're-
Just get your
they're
dick all in a
athletic.
bunch.
And luxurious, just like how niggas do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
see
It's stretchy and it's athletic, like some Nike stuff, but it's
Is it
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Whole shorts.
Whole trunks.
the liner goes all the way through to the bottom. You know, it got a waterproof pocket. You can put all your valuables
Oh.
It's perfect for that pool
I'm
party.
Like, can I get one?
Yup, it's got a reflector pocket for tactical uses, and
it's good for everything, but the thing that it's for that black men won't do is swim.
Swim, exactly.
Yeah,
so you can look cool on the side of the pool,
exactly,
and in the pool.
Cool.
So however you want to rock, and So with that said, Underground Beach Club, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, or on undergroundbeachclub.com.
Yes.
Or they're also at the Lowe's hotels and a couple boutiques.
Okay.
Fox Hills Mall, we everywhere.
Cool.
Back to the show.
Yeah.
So the access is in our hands. It just takes us to really work it.
Right.
And that's why I harp on him saying get that album done, because that's digital
right.
real estate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually have a question.
Anyone else doing a comedy album? So.
I mean, there's guys doing it. A lot of white dudes is doing it, and they're getting money.
Didn't Doughboy say he was gonna do one?
Yeah, he did say. We had Doughboy on our episode 52,
Yeah.
and he said he was looking into starting doing that
his
too.
comedy album. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like we're
Right now,
I'm on the same. Yep.
Yo, my nigga.
Hey, work with me. Work with me, brother. I have a good question for you. For people like us, where we're not even necessarily trying to be famous. Like, we're just podcasting. I mean, exactly. So we both got our degrees in science. A quick background on us.
Science, wow.
Yeah, so I got my bachelor's in biochemistry, and she got her bachelor's in neuroscience.
Wow.
And then she started working as a neurophysiologist, and I started working as a biochemist and a laboratory manager.
That's awesome.
And then I went back and just finished my master's in finance.
People in those
Congratulations.
I mean, it's hard.
That's awesome though.
I mean, but the thing is, we also understand how the system is. So I work my black, like, to get into things. Like, if I have to be the quota to get in, but I want to get in, I'm going to be the quota to get in. You know, and that's like, it's unfortunate that you have to do things like that. But at the same time, I feel like you have to be smart enough to get your foot in the door, because in my situation, I went from biochemistry and just got my master's in finance, where they expect you to have experience in finance because you got your undergraduate in finance, where I didn't. And so it's like, you have to find ways. I have full faith that I'll be able to get myself in the door. It's just that you have to find those avenues and those little pockets. And, that's usually what, like, when people graduate, they usually get, like, depressed and they don't know what they're going to do, because they finally have the responsibility of, like, fuck.
Of life.
I need to get a job now.
Yeah.
Like, this whole time I've just been in school, and all I had to do was get good grades.
You was flexing hard. You was like, I got good grades. What?
I got an A. I was on time today.
Right.
Like,
But then when you do that, compounded with, nigga, I gotta make $2,500 on rent every month.
Yeah.
I gotta pay this car note. I gotta pay that ticket I got.
I just paid a ticket.
I gotta feed myself. I gotta feed
That's
my
why they keep
family
calling me. That's why Satan keeps calling me.
Exactly. He's like,
these
I
tickets.
can pay for all your worries. Just pick up the phone.
So what was the question though?
For people like us, well, basically our background, and she's getting her master's in computer science also. She'll be done next year. And for people in our place where, like, we just want to grow, what advice would you have for people like us, people who are in the platform of podcasting and radio, because they kind of do coincide a little bit?
So, I mean, in this space, it's about building a catalog, right? I'm glad you guys are at 50 something before you called Brody. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be at your top 10.
We feel you. We don't.
And it's at 50.
We don't even want to be on our top 10. The first 10 episodes.
I know.
Getting the mics to work. We
That's
had
what I'm
different mics on our first episode too.
It took y'all an hour to set this up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and now
Woo.
that's 50 podcasts in. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the experience you have. People say you don't have experience. You have experience in something because you've been repetitively doing recording, audio content. This kind of makes money. Some podcasts on these platforms make money because they get that many people. They get a sponsor from a vape pen. They get a sponsor because the video's doing well. You got your man doing the video. Like, you guys got a small team. This is a little, this is a micro network. Yeah. You got your own channel that you can distribute and disseminate whatever content you want to the ether or within their rules. You can't just be popping it, but maybe you can. You can, though.
There's certain curse words we can't have in our description. We had to learn that our first week.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people do.
But that's experience, though, because you bump your
these
head.
fucking niggas.
Yeah. How did they get through?
Young and Gettin it. Sounds good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so the what you have going for you is that you're young and you're smart, and that's the equity, the time.
It's so hard not to say young and getting it, right? You're trying not to.
I was going to say young and getting it.
It's like you're young and you're attaining things.
What's the
You're
word?
achieving. Fuck it. All right, you're getting it. God damn it, you're getting it.
Exactly.
But I think it's just persistence and consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be flashy.
Yeah.
You guys are smart already. So, I mean, I would even use your schooling as some kind of content that you distribute online and educate, us. Because I'm like, what? Teach me something that I don't know. Because you look like me, and I want to hear that smart shit you saying. You know what I mean? And especially being females, like, y'all, right now, come on. I started with Issa Rae on YouTube. Like, we started doing YouTube stuff around the same time. Her stuff was just tracking, and because of the female movement, her shit just said, poof. You know what I mean?
And the Oscar so white, whole movement too, man. I mean that really transformed. I would say it's amazing. I mean, just within the last 4 or 5 years, everything on TV, like it's crazy. I literally went in for a casting, and the casting director straight up was like, they're looking for, pointing at me like they're looking for that now. They're not looking for to this other guy. Like, and it's crazy, that. I mean, it's on one end you almost feel guilty, but then it's like, well, no, for a long time we didn't even have any opportunities, like for anything. So now it's great. It's great to know that there's so many avenues, and I say that not just for Black people, but for even Asian Americans or Latin Americans. Like it's great to see everyone represented on TV,
because that's how we grew up. I grew up in San Francisco, and it was one of the most diverse cities on the planet, and to not see my Asian homie, I'm mixed myself, so I'm already a diverse, you know what I'm saying, like, person.
What are both you guys mixed with?
I'm Black and Filipino. He says he's not mixed, but down the road.
I have like Cuban.
I mean, she's the same way where she's like Black.
Yeah, I need to get ancestry or something. I just say Black. Yeah, I just say Black. Yeah. I mean, I like for sure the slave masters were fucking the shit out of my family. Like for sure. Like it's for sure.
That's what
niggas didn't have to do hard labor.
Yeah, y'all was inside washing dishes.
Yeah, give me a little pussy, and then you don't have to go outside.
You just have to plant flowers in the front.
Yeah, okay, master.
Sweep the floor.
So I don't have to go outside.
Right. Yeah. And breastfeed their baby, which is just crazy.
Or the Cuban is just so such a dominant, like, down the line. That
True.
Because I literally, it's crazy. My family, like, everyone's like literally like light skin. Like everyone has like more like curly hair. So no one is like it's everyone's about the same complexion. Like we all look like we could be like Spanish or mixed black and white or mixed with something.
Yeah, I want to do 21andMe or 23andMe.
23. That's
21. I'd be a fucking. I know I'd be a monkey or something.
21. Yeah. You find out you're a rock.
Yeah. Right.
She's like, I want to do.
Oh, turns out I'm granite.
Savage in me.
Got the wrong kit. Found out that I'm marble.
21andMe.
21 Savage.
Need 2 more chromosomes, girl. Yeah. I'm the 21 Savage. Yeah.
And me. How much 21 Savage?
21 Savage and me, yo. That's funny. That's a sketch right there.
I'm not a murderer, so I have none. That's all this nigga talks about in all of his songs is killing people.
Yeah.
I got a retarded chromosome. It just keeps repeating shit.
No, Down is with the extra chromosome. Down syndrome.
Yeah, that's right. Down syndrome.
Yeah.
That's why they all look the same, huh?
Oh, God.
Man, this Carlos is. You know what? You were doing good with the whole swim trunks thing and progressive. And then you she just took the microphone.
Can't do it.
I was delicate though.
We're not gonna get in trouble about this.
I was delicate though.
Just put a big old beep.
We had deaf jokes at the beginning of the podcast that no one that they won't hear.
Nobody will ever hear.
I know. Everyone said some pretty. Wow.
Yeah, it happens every time.
Yeah. Off the wall shit every time. We did.
I always want to repeat like the worst shit I've ever said, but then I'm like, you know what?
One time you did, and we beeped it out. We bleeped it.
Worst
like,
shit.
actually, let's not put that in there.
So you guys do listen to it after again, right?
Hell
okay.
yeah.
Hell
yeah.
We actually went on. We went on Vital Information, which is a podcast in New York, and we taped it in Manhattan. And they have a thing where they talk however they feel like talking.
Reckless.
And so they say off the wall shit, but whenever they say off the wall shit, like it cuts them off and there's just a voice that says, "Good God." and like because they just say something super crazy. And I was really proud when we taped with them. I got 2 good gods during the episode. I was like, okay, that's some off the wall shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I'll be trying to be the refined one.
I had a slightly like dark topic, but it's not that dark.
Okay.
But okay, have you noticed that like in airports and shit, they're still kind of like targeting people with like Middle Eastern like names and patting them down and doing extra shit with them? Whereas if you actually look at like the terrorists in America right now, they all have a white person's name. Like the last one was David Ian Long. It's like,
and wasn't he ex-military?
Yeah, he was 28, and usually it's well, actually they all have been around our age now that I think about it, because they're either in high school, middle school, but mostly high school.
We fucked up. We know shit's fucked.
Damn, what did we do wrong? It's that technology.
Not enough drugs. Because like in the 70s and shit, they was doing hella drugs. They didn't give a fuck about nothing.
True.
They weren't thinking about the world. They was high on acid, going to disco fucking parties and shit.
Yeah, well, we were talking about on our
need more acid in the streets, man.
Right?
Like,
Hook me up, fam. Where's it at?
Need some of that old weed.
He was also PTSD shit.
Yeah.
Because I played football and I was mad depressed after football because of the it's just like PTSD.
Yeah.
Because you're like headbanging all the time, and then all of a sudden it's just.
Did you go to therapy? How'd you get over it?
I should have.
How'd you get over it though?
I'm still kind of no.
Every time he hears the whiz of a football fly past.
Every time I hear a whistle, I just
he hears
the shit. No.
Goes to a dark place.
You know what? It took
no more touchdowns.
Getting into another, like really getting into my craft,
right?
And really having another focus, because you know these guys spend. It's the same thing with the military kids and athletes. They spend so much time doing this thing all their life, and then all of a sudden it's like over. You get dropped off either after college or like your first year in the league, and you're done. And then you've built this existence, literally. Every day of your life, you've been working towards these goals of becoming an athlete or be a military. You know, going to the military. Now you're in the military. You're doing it all the time. You're killing people. You're shooting stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's over.
It's hard to act. It's hard to get back into
What's
the
that
regular.
transition? Yeah, you know, just like you said, when after school, you're like, oh, people are like, oh my God, what do I do? Because you've been in school since day one.
Since 4 years old.
You've been in a system going 4 years of this, then you graduate to this, and then you go to this, and you graduate to this, and then you take these steps, and you graduate, and then all of a sudden you got the rest of your life to go figure it out, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's why niggas go to jail.
Because it's like there's no.
Just got out of Harvard, going to prison.
If anything,
don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what am I just got off Harvard. What do I do?
Yeah.
Go rob some motherfucker.
Then get locked up. Yeah.
Broke.
I learned how to get away with it.
Especially if you black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go follow the rapper or the athlete or whoever. Like there's no positive role models to say, hey, I'm gonna follow in their footsteps. You know, and the only ones that are visually represented are rappers, athletes, people working for someone else, as opposed to saying, hey, this guy owns his own business. He, you know, the Damon, you know, Damon Johns of the world, Damon Dashes of the world, Jay-Z of the world. Now we're starting to see that, which is awesome. You know, I'm glad hip hop kind of graduated into wearing tuxes and suits, and guys can actually rock that on stage now because the culture has matured, and us as a culture has to mature. You guys, being as educated as you are, have to mature and show that to the next generation, so that young girl can be like, oh, I don't have to just do hair or be Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? It's so extreme. There's no like, oh, I could just be a dope ass professor, or I could be a dope, you know, artist and make artwork and make that my thing. So, you know, I don't know how I got there, but
I say all that to say.
I say all that to say, you know, we're all maturing, you know, in all our crafts and all the ways that we can, and you know, doing stuff like this really helps, you know, get our voices out there and let people know what's going on.
Yeah.
For all, you know, 12 followers, you got please comment, let us know, share the podcast, guys.
We need listeners.
We need some sponsorships.
Trying to get paid.
It's like, oh, we're getting a call right now. Nina's mom. Okay.
That's what, and it also like the growth, because that's the thing is the common theme every time we have a guest on the show. The common thing is perseverance. Like, just keep going. It's the people who stop that don't make it because they stopped.
Right.
It's like just keep fighting. And
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
like, just keep going. So like after school, create another 4-year plan for yourself. And I think that's one thing that when I was coming out, my parents didn't even go to college. So me going to college, they were like, "You did it, nigga. Congratulations, you graduated. Go figure it out. Get a job, do whatever."
I can't even tell you what to do.
I can't tell you what to do. You did more than I did.
Yeah.
So now it's like you have to create those dreams for yourself. And I just shot for the moon. I was like, I want to be dope at this. And then it manifested itself,
Yeah.
And I tell my clients all the time, this is one thing I always do. Always set, you guys have GPSs on everyone's phone, right? And you can't use a GPS if you don't plug in an address. So I say that with your career. Plug in an address and it'll get you there. You know what I mean? Because your subconscious and your mind is it works weird. God is weird, universe, like however but just set the address and you'll fucking magically get there. Someone will open the door and someone will, hand you something, make it a little easier for you.
Yeah.
The path will start unveiling itself to you. So set that address. So after you graduate, after you accomplished all the little things you've accomplished in college or whatever, technical schools you're in, set that next address. I want to be the best in my class. Okay, cool. You got that. You graduated. I want to be the best at this. Now you got to work for a company, work your way up, or hey, you might be smart enough to open your own business and do that thing.
That's what I want. That's what we're working on.
Yeah, and that's how you set that address. Like, we want our own shop. We want this, and this. We want to be on publications. We want to be recognized as the top blah, blah, blah in our field. Like, do that shit. Because everybody's path is like a fingerprint. Very unique.
All different.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and small life events completely can change your direction. So it's
Totally.
like, you can never even guess where you're going to be, but you can work towards where you want to be,
Yep.
And then it just...
Small way, he became a dad, and now,
Yeah, like it's and it's kind of it's interesting too. And becoming a dad is like kind of it's similar to almost like when you're getting out of military and then it's like your first day, like literally, or getting out of school and then it's like what now, like when becoming a dad, it's the same thing. It's like after you leave the hospital, I'm literally a father now.
For the rest
like
of your life.
forever.
Yeah.
Like that shit was
No turning back.
It was so weird. Like when we were leaving the hospital, we looked at each other. We're like, yo, they're about to trust us with our it's so weird. You're being about to be trusted with your own child.
Really taking this?
Like hold on. So like, you want to go to like McDonald's or something real quick? I don't like. What do we do?
It's like, bro, what do you want to eat?
Yeah. Like, hey, you don't got teeth or nothing, right? Like it's so weird, but it's like it's amazing. yeah.
Where the book at?
Bro, I swear they didn't even tell us how to install a car seat. Like it was like, yo, you figure that shit out. Like it's like they're holding your hand throughout the process, and of course when a woman's pregnant, she has regular checkups with the doctor. So you still feel like there's someone in your life that's kind of like guiding you through it. But after the baby's skeeted out, it's like, yo, figure that shit out.
Yeah, we'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah. Let us know how. Yeah, let us know how that pussy tightens up. Like.
Before I see you next.
Right.
How that pussy tightens up.
Yeah, let me know that thing closes back up.
How old's your child now?
He's 3 now.
Damn.
He's a grown ass man.
Yeah,
it's amazing
exactly.
now because it's like I can't imagine a life without him now. And he's very much been a drive in my life that's such a motivating force now. It's like every time I'm doing something, it's purposeful. I like time is like, so people always say time is money. Now time really is money.
Right.
Because if I'm wasting my time doing some shit, I have to really always think like, how is this benefiting him? How is this helping him? So when I'm like, whereas I used to always go to comedy clubs to hang out, just talk shit, even if I wasn't performing. Now it's like if I go to hang out, it's more so it's very purposeful. Like I'm like, all right, let me go talk to this person. Like even the night I saw you, I was kind of just in and out of the improv. So it's more politicking, make sure I see everyone, talk to bookers, and then be out. You know what I mean? Get it done. I don't have to linger around for 30 minutes talking to comedians that are passing in. Like it's not doing, unless I'm writing jokes with the comedians there. It's not doing anything for me. So
it's like network and then.
Get out.
That's how you stay out of trouble too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Out.
Right.
Yeah, but he's you know, it's crazy now. I can have full conversations with him.
That's the greatest part.
I'm like, you really are such a reflection of yourself when you know when you have a kid. You really start seeing and the little things that he's doing and the things he's mimicking and copying me. It's like, whoa, like I really have to check myself for certain things, you know. I can't, but it's great that like I can still play like music regularly and like there's curse words in it. Like I've explained to him like those are bad words. You don't use those words, you know. Yeah. And if somebody uses bad words, you know, like if I use a bad word around him, he'll check me and I say I apologize. I give him the respect to apologize. And if I'm using a bad word, but if they're on the radio, he said, "Daddy, why that man say that? Why that he say a bad word?" And I'm like, well, because he's an adult, he can say that, you know. And apparently, you know, he said nigga the other day.
Oh no.
But he said it in such a funny way because his cousin kind of snitched on him and told me that like he's like, oh yeah, Ace said a bad word, and I was like, what did he say? She's like, he said nigga, and then it's funny because she's like 8 years old saying. So then finally I got from her mom like how he said it, and he was like, oh, like they were going over to a friend's house and they were saying what's up, and then he dapped him up and he said, what's up, my nigga? So I'm almost giving him a pass. I'm like, yo, my 3-year-old is dapping up saying what's up, my nigga, when I'm not around. Like,
he used it in perfect context.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That's a greeting.
He's like, this is when we do it between black folk.
Like, all right, son. All right, we need to talk about some more relationship terms. You know,
what's up, my nigga?
More terms of endearment.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. Go to the teacher, right? What's up? What y'all niggas doing today? Oh, arts and crafts. That's what's up.
That's why when you said that, I laughed because I was like, I just imagined me having a kid that was just bad as fuck, and it's just like I'm like, oh, she's just like me.
Oh yeah, you gotta look at yourself. It gives you
I'm like, so my kid's gonna have an attitude all the time. Great. Great.
Right there.
Oh man,
no,
that's so great. We should do that. This is a good time to do that question. If there was one person,
if you could have a conversation with 1 hour conversation with anybody dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dead or alive.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of generic, but maybe Einstein.
oh, hey.
You know,
we haven't gotten that one yet.
I think that would be an interesting conversation to have, just to understand like what, like, I mean, he's theorized things that it's like, how do you even, like, were you doing drugs? Like, what drug? Like, how did you even, like,
He
how do you even,
was.
it's like, how do you even think of thinking of things like certain like shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even, like, there's like, obviously we can think of certain sciences and like he's thinking of laws of the universe.
Yeah, like how do you make that shit make sense?
How do you? I can't tell you anything about outside of our, like, how can I describe inside of a wormhole or even know, how could I even theorize a wormhole?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or like theorize a way to study it.
Yeah.
Especially since you can't touch it or get to it. So how do you figure out what this thing is doing?
It's like I think it's drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
acid trip.
It was a mind-blowing moment when I was in class and found out that E=mc² is a real equation.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, this really
it means something.
Someone he really did that shit. Yeah.
Wow.
I think
it's like energy equals mass times
speed of light
squared.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you can find the mass of something by knowing the energy and the speed of light squared.
Yeah, that's definitely right.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, this is I'm gonna teach y'all fully. So it says on the most basic level, the equation says that energy and mass, aka matter, are interchangeable. They are different forms of the same thing.
Yeah, never
yeah.
Or never, it just transfers. Energy is the same.
Wow.
It's a constant.
So when we die,
your energy.
Yeah, where's the energy go? Into the air, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Who knows? I mean, here's peep this. I can call someone and through the fucking airwaves, the motherfucker's gonna pick up. Like,
they don't even need a landline.
We've mastered fucking
the air.
Right.
That's basically
like
teleportation.
Fuck you, air. We're gonna get our conversations out. We're gonna use you.
And this is why people get cancer.
Exactly.
Sadly.
This is why the bees aren't around anymore.
These niggas peep game early. They're like, we out.
Yeah. You know what? Y'all fuck this planet up. We going out.
We good.
Yeah, we are.
Group conference call.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about TV. I'm like the same way, just like a phone call. I'm like, you've been able to put an image, and now it's at an HD level, an image on my screen.
That's moving. And
They look like real life.
That it's not connected to where you're from, and you taped this like at a different time.
We're very much on our way to like holograms and like where you're seeing. I mean, where you can. And the thing is, I mean, I'm telling you, man. I think teleportation, like that's something that could happen in our lifetime.
Game. I just don't want to be the first nigga to do it.
Not a person. I think an object. I think because I think they're what is it?
No, you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna 3D print whatever the fuck is on that side. It's gonna 3D print right here.
Oh, that's scarier.
There's really 3D printing.
3D printing's nasty.
There's gonna be 3D printer everywhere.
I love the sounds you made in that description too.
I saw the picture. I was like, yeah.
I need to send you one. They did a time lapse of them like 3D printing something that was very detailed, like a fiery bird. And they did, so it started at 2 p.m. and it went all the way until 11 p.m. And then it was like a fully thing, and he just was like,
they 3D print
3D food.
What?
They bring a 3D machine on the plane and make all their tools in space.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's the most genius.
Program, they just say they don't bring the tools. They just say no. We're gonna print the tools we need.
And that lessens the cargo load. That's so smart.
Food. Like they'll put the whatever food, they'll put whatever
like the mineral of it.
They'll have like a compound that makes a burger.
What the fuck, man?
Hook a bitch up.
Compound burgers.
Yeah.
Hook me up.
Ain't that crazy? It's like a gel and whatever, and then it fucking makes it.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's an episode of The Simpsons where they went to like a carnival and then and they were getting stuff to eat at different little like stands, and then when they went underground, there was all lard and they're just putting into the different things, and then it's formed into like the burgers here, the chicken fingers here, the pizza. They're just doing it up, sending it up different shoots.
That's pretty much
it.
Look,
you know,
they say we break down to what, just carbon and
we're basic elements.
Oxygen, hydrogen.
That's what it is. It's all
so what are you saying when you die or something like that, like the energy?
Oh yeah, where does that go? Because our bodies stay here, right?
Yeah.
So the energy has to leave immediately.
Is there like a hub where like the souls go?
You know what? I feel like our energy constantly leaks out.
I think they call it heaven in the Bible. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Or hell. I'm not.
One of those.
I'm no Bibleologist, but I'm just.
A Bibleologist.
I'm a bibliologist.
Where does it go?
Hopefully, heaven.
Yeah.
Hot breath goes somewhere.
Hot breath goes, yeah.
That goes somewhere.
It goes to frying brain cells.
But that weird thing too, like you lose 7 grams when you die. That's a weird.
7 grams?
7 or like what is it like something like 7?
I really thought you were talking about weed for a second.
No. Oh, you're gonna lose a lot more than your weed if you die.
It just rolls off your hand.
What do you lose?
Like 7, like your body mass. Like after your last breath, you just lose 7 grams.
Oh, it's probably all that air.
It's like a.
Right?
No, it's like
the air and that shit escaping your ass.
I don't know.
Because you take a shit on yourself when you die.
It's not. It's not weight that's already accounted for. That's in your body. It's like something that.
So it's just like they'll do the math and then like, where'd this 7 grams go?
Yeah, and
that
it's
might
gone.
Be your soul.
Okay, that's all it weighed. Fuck.
Yeah.
And all the like scary.
What'd you say?
My soul's like at least
28 grams.
28 grams. All right.
Yeah,
you're an ounce of weed.
Your soul needs to work out, my nigga.
Right? You heavy.
Nigga, soul's diabetic.
Your soul needs to go to rehab.
Yeah, fuck.
Your soul shouldn't be heavy.
Put your soul on a treadmill.
Tell that bitch to wake up.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
His soul. 20%.
His soul.
My 7 grams that come out is
50%.
Yeah, somebody could smoke your soul after it leaves your body. Like, oh, do a
He
bong.
dies. They're like, do you smell weed in there?
It's like, are you doing a bong hit off this nigga's head? Like, lighting his ears. Just
This nigga taking his last breath.
I think that was the concept of how high.
yo, they smoked their friend. Yeah.
Oh, they sure did, and they seen that.
And
nigga.
that's how they're getting good grades.
Yeah.
Meth and
He
meth.
was cheating for him.
Yeah. They smoked their. He died in a fire in his apartment.
And didn't
They
they
fell out
smoke
then fell
Ben
out the-
Franklin's finger?
Oh, I didn't know that.
They dug him up and then they like smoked his finger or some shit, and they got everybody high off of him at the end of the movie. I used to watch that movie a lot.
Yeah, I
So
watched it
funny. It's very
within the
sad.
last couple of years, so I kind of remember it.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's funny to go back and review it.
Yeah, I need to. That's
Okay.
hilarious.
Look at God.
Look at God. So we have a segment called "Look at God, I See You Universe."
I assume you believe in
because
God.
we love people even if they don't believe in
No.
God, you know. So, like we actually had when we did a collaborative episode at one point.
Yeah, we had a
one
person
girl
do
said,
that.
"I see you, universe." Didn't say, "Look at God," you know,
Which is
'cause
totally
she don't believe in
fine.
God. And we love all y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't have one yet. Who has a look at God right now?
I
that they
do.
Can think of? Okay, boom.
It's very small, but I was trying to look at the small things in life this week. So a few small good things happened. Like on Saturday morning, yes. I'm not gonna go in order of these events. On Saturday morning, I was ordering some stuff at Starbucks, and they gave me like a free protein box because he said they already put the sticker on it, even though I didn't order it. And he was like, "Yeah, I already put the sticker on it, so I like put it in your bag for you." And I was like, "Okay, cool," because you know, a bitch be hungry. And then another small event that happened is I was washing my laundry and I forgot a pin in my scrubs, and the fucking pin went through the washer and the dryer and didn't explode and ruin all of my clothes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said a pen.
Yeah,
okay.
a pen, like a ink pen.
Yeah.
Not a weed pen.
And then I was on call this week, and I got called in once and it canceled on my way there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They didn't need me. But I was irritated that I drove, but I mean, a bitch didn't have to work.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, and they pay for your gas, right?
Yes.
Yep. See.
They paying for all
Look
that
at God.
shit. Cut the check.
You have a look at God, either of you?
Let me think.
I know it takes a moment sometimes.
You know, God is always present in my life. So you know, it would be. I got here safe. You know, I'm a little things too. You know, I woke up this morning. Look at God, He let me wake up again.
Yeah.
But I got a little word that we might be going to. They're starting to look up new jokes for a next season.
Hey.
So
that's in the prayers right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep that in the
So
prayers.
would you look at God?
Yay.
I got an audition. Well, not even an audition, but they said when my agent said that some company likes me already, so I don't have to audition. So she's pitching me on Monday to be a host for some show, and it'd be shot in December and January, and it's it's a handsome amount of money.
Yep. Handsome.
Hey,
I like that term. I like the
So
term.
it's a handsome amount. Yeah. So,
So I know that I
so
helped
hopefully,
you,
but the fact that she said shortlist twice, like you're on a short list, that's always a good thing to hear. So I'm like, okay, look at God right there, right?
Look at God.
Look at God.
My look at God is, when you're like just hanging around your friends and it's just all good vibes and you're just like at peace. So I have that look on. My friends had Friendsgiving this week because Thanksgiving is coming up, and I was thinking we were just throwing it. Oh, it's gonna be a little, small. Let's bring a little potluck, So I bring the honey ham and some champagne.
Your fave.
And, I gotta bring the ham, and there were no leftovers of ham. I got 8. And then I get there and there was so much food. My friend is a chef, but she also is tired, so I didn't know she was gonna. I didn't know she was gonna.
Ain't you a chef? Yeah, bitch. I'm tired.
She cooked so much shit. It was 3 pans of macaroni. She did the what's the corn that you get from the Mexican man? The elote. She made an elote, a pan of elote.
Oh wow.
Yeah. What the heck? Are you crazy? It was amazing. Then we had ham and obviously turkey, and then
How many people were there?
It was only 12 of us. So obviously there was just leftovers. I was everyone,
to-go plates, right?
Everybody was able to take a plate home. So, but it was just fun, good vibes, so much food, and then food the next day, and so that was fun as hell. So it's that's a very good look at God moment. You're just chilling, you're at peace, you had a good week, Yeah.
Right?
Friendsgivings
I think
are
about that
fun.
all the time, first world problems that I have. Some people really just be depressed because they don't have money or anything, and then I realize when I be depressed, I just buy shit. That's a very real first world problem. I go shopping because I'm sad.
I eat tasty things.
My nigga, what?
No new episodes of Insecure. I have to go buy a Porsche.
I know. Let's go to the Mercedes dealership now.
I did need some new J's and Balenciagas.
Right. Let me check this goddamn Gucci.
I was at the spot and I just got a whole thing of ice. Some countries you can't even get ice. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
be having hot beverages all the time.
What'll be 2 hot beers?
Take your ass to Africa and try to do that. You're gonna be
Hey, get off! Take on all the ice. Only got enough for about 2 more hours. You take about an hour. What? I'm Nigerian, by the way.
We're all gonna think about ice differently today.
Right?
Yeah.
But Nina don't even get ice. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't like cold drinks.
This time I'm gonna get ice, and I'm just gonna
cold
look at
drinks.
God like, man, thank you.
Shout out
And
to you,
just
bro.
He said,
Point to the sky, yeah.
Is it the good ice? Did you
Yeah.
get the good ice?
Yeah. I like the ice with like a little bit of texture on it. I don't
The
know if you guys-
crunchy
Yeah,
ice?
kind of crunchy, has a little bit of texture. You know.
Easy to chew,
Yeah.
but still
Since we're
crunchy.
talking about ice, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do this again. So,
right.
yeah. You know, just I
Never
can't
had a
start
conversation
ice
about ice.
conversations. Yeah, I've been waiting for this, guys.
Guys, you know.
Be all corny, a real icebreaker. You don't get ice in jail?
You have
okay.
some hot ass fruit punch.
Hell yeah, he knows. Yeah, he knows.
Zay done shake some.
It's like, yeah.
warm milk. Can I get
CO,
almond
can I get
syrup?
some ice for what? My coffee.
Niggas got coffee in jail? You get that?
That'll be that nasty dark ass roast. Fucking scraps.
Just the water.
I'm like, CO, I can't drink this.
Fuck, my knife melted. Oh, curses. You know how many cigarettes I had to get for that ice? Yeah. Keep it cold. I gotta keep it all the way cold to get to the dude I want to stab.
Shit, my knife.
Oh, fuck, my knife melted. Drats.
That's funny as
Yeah. Put your face in that puddle.
Oh my god. I'd be like, that's why I can't go to jail, because I would really ask the CO for some almond milk.
They would just start laughing at you.
Yeah.
You got the unsweetened or sweetened.
You better do some corporate.
Like, you hear this, man? Nina wants almond milk.
Put her in the hole.
Yeah, man, go get me some ice. I'm about to stab this one.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think we got soy in there.
In
I
jail?
don't fuck with soy.
You know what? I would honestly pretend to be Muslim. They eat better in jail because they don't give them the same food.
They get,
Or kosher?
I know guys
Yeah.
who go to jail just to get medical.
Yeah. I always ask that question. I was like,
I know guys that go to jail just to get like internet and TV and cell phones.
Hey, Lord knows that you see them niggas on Instagram in their prison cell, like
niggas really be
Got a
posting-
whole page, yo.
They did the
Look.
kinky dance.
Relationship. I be like, okay, this nigga
Yeah.
really killing the DMs.
Yeah.
oh God.
I remember.
I used to have a joke about that. People just like posting from jail, like still here, just updating it.
Post it up.
Time going by real slow.
What's it called? I remember a long time ago when dating apps started to become really popular and their cell phone in jails. I don't remember what app it was that I opened, but it was like a nigga like in jail, like was really like
As a dating app?
yes. There's
Ah.
first of all, there's multiple niggas in jail on dating apps, like multiple. And
Like
I remember
how?
I remember a girl telling me, one of my like homegirls, she said that she was talking to a guy who was in jail, and then he called her and he was like, "Hello, what's up? I can't talk too loud, but and like he had a cell phone illegally in jail and and she was like, "Are you with?"
One of my sister's ex-boyfriends went to jail, and he would call her on his burner phone, like in jail, and she like, he has a charger somehow.
Yeah, they hide all that shit. They
Yeah.
hide up their ass too.
And
But-
he was like constantly talking about like, yeah, I'm gonna get out soon, like my lawyer's gonna go back, and it's like, my nigga, you shot somebody in the back. That's not self-defense.
That's
So,
not,
sorry. You're black. If you didn't know, you're not an officer, so it
Yep.
doesn't
You meant to do
qualify.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
There was one black dude who I remember his profile. He was 10 years in and was about to get out. And I was like, so that's the type of nigga who's going to try to get all your money and shit right when he comes out and just take over.
And every time you have sex, it's gonna be like rape.
yeah.
So
and he
we're gonna
totally killed
pass.
somebody too. So
Oh.
it's like, dang.
I get 10 years for killing somebody. It has to be manslaughter.
I think it was like they were shooting at him and he was shooting at them. So one of those situations.
Damn.
Because I remember
Self-defense.
being like, that was actually one of the first people where I was like, are people in jail on dating sites? I was like, is this real? What did
That's
you do?
so crazy.
Killed somebody. Wow. You're a
Mm.
murderer.
But it's like, I mean, what can you provide? Like, what can you really say on your profile? You know, like the only way you can impress a girl is like how many years you're gonna be out. Like, you know,
Out
like,
in
like I
2020.
I like to read.
I like to
work
read
out.
I lift weights.
I'm talkative, friendly, great
Okay,
at cards.
I was about to be.
I'll be
very
out in
vulgar.
3 on good behavior.
Yeah, I'm a good boy.
I was about to say, dick, stay hard.
Dick,
Dick stay on long. I like anal too for you freaky ones.
Oh wow, you could peg me. Okay, too far. Let's be done.
Whoa. Have you ever watched a pegging video?
No.
Okay. I haven't either. We're done. Yeah. This is good.
How do you know they exist? How do you guys know they exist?
We
Yeah.
are done.
Let's look at that history, guys. Ladies, this is interesting. Yeah.
And I'm like, good time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't want to talk about pegging.
That should be a question on your podcast. Be like, what's the last two on your search?
Oh.
Search history.
I mean, they're all deleted, but
You gotta clear that shit.
Incognito mode.
See,
I pretty much clear
Yeah.
after I'm done. I clear. You gotta clear that
clear
out.
history.
Yeah.
Clear everything out, man.
clear it out.
Dang, I don't even remember.
Take a shower.
To watch
You
the
feel all
sheets.
nasty. You can't even watch the end
I
of the
get
video.
disgusting.
You
No,
gotta
I'm
watch
playing.
the sheets.
Yeah.
That's all
Can't
porn
look
is.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
Can't look at
God.
yourself in the mirror.
Wait, real quick before we end it, have y'all seen that fucking it's like a commercial for like a device that jacks a guy off. I'm gonna show y'all after. It's hilarious.
Is
It's
it
like
automated?
It's an automated flashlight. It has like a suction cup thing and it goes on the dick, and then it has like VR glasses with it that does point of view. Yeah.
So okay, so you don't have to do this.
No,
They'll do it for you.
literally sit it between your legs, and it's just like
Man,
And then you watch a
the
girl
prostitution industry is gonna go down. They're gonna hate this.
Man,
They're
they're
gonna hate
done.
this, man.
okay. We could watch it after. I have it right here.
And we'll still record the audio reaction just in case you
yeah.
want to keep it.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is a picture of it. That's the picture.
The dude looks hilarious though. Oh,
Big. That's way too
That's
big.
huge. That'll eat his dick off.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's little.
what happens to that shit? Yeah, the battery, your dick is just stuck in it.
Let's do a commercial.
Yeah, literally, that's. Oh! He doesn't look like he's having a good time. He's almost like, oh no! It won't come off.
Too tight.
Oh! Honey!
Like holding a real chick.
You can't hear the audio, but he's like, get this thing off of
But
me.
and the fact that this dude, he's butt naked doing this shit. It's funny.
Right? Why ain't you got a shirt on at least? Shit.
No!
You don't have socks on.
It's too fast. No!
What if you have a micro penis?
Oh,
and it's
God.
really tiny.
Oh, the baby carrot.
One of my balls slipped in. Oh! That's what they gotta look at that picture, yo. That picture.
Doesn't give you that young Jill Scott on the ball.
Fuck.
It's a Jill Scott setting.
Trim too. It's just
I
like
know,
Yeah.
right? You come out all clean shaven, ready for the pool.
Misty Stone, she gave me a fleshlight. I had her on this radio show that I was doing, and she gifted me her fleshlight and signed it. And you know, her well, yeah, it's like hers. So it's like a
Oh,
mold.
like-
It's like a mold of her
How do you
vagina.
get a mold of the like the
so
inside?
blocked out.
It's a mold of the inside of her
How
vagina.
do you get the inside mold?
I think you put some hot wax inside yourself, and then
What?
and then they.
That's gonna fuck up your pH so much.
I
But
mean,
go ahead.
I don't like the thousands of dicks that she's taken. Having.
Okay, wow. Whoa. You know what? You're right.
You know what? You're worried
But-
about a little mold. She had a goddamn horse ram in her last week. All right.
Oh fuck.
I think the pH is the least of our concerns.
Are we talking about a prostitute?
No,
Like, who
porn
is
star,
this?
porn star.
Oh, porn star. Okay.
Oh yeah, they don't use condoms. I was like, oh, she uses a condom.
Yeah, not the good ones.
These porn
Yeah.
stars don't be
Not the
using
good
condoms.
ones. You're right. I cannot
Yeah,
watch this.
the bad ones. I'm like, oh, you putting
condoms.
protect, man? What the? Turn
What
this
the
shit.
fuck is this
Come
shit?
on, man.
Yeah, and porn.
I ain't come here to see you be responsible.
Yeah, I can't watch porn.
Fuck is this?
Like, what are we really doing here?
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
but you put a condom
But
on.
you want me to watch you fuck with one on?
Yeah, what the hell y'all?
Nah.
Who the fuck wears condoms?
Come on, man. Take that shit
Remember
back
that
to
one guy?
7-Eleven. I'll still tune in.
You know they that show on Netflix, Big Mouth.
Yes.
They came out with season 2, and there's a part on the because the dude's like, "Oh, you about to fuck her?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, do you use the condom?" He's like, "Who the fuck uses condoms?" It's like, nigga, what? They're like, "Oh no." there's
No,
a
remember
problem."
off that episode we did in Atlanta, the guy was like, I don't use condoms. And you were like, whoa.
Whoa.
And I'm like, nigga, I hope you have a
Whoa,
girlfriend.
whoa.
I hope.
Yikes.
the one who's engaged, I believe.
Oh, okay, I'm like, I hope
Yeah,
you have a
yeah.
girlfriend.
But yeah,
Please.
he was off the wall. With
Yeah,
that. I don't
like
use
there
them.
needs to be some context behind
So
this.
you want a kid also?
like you want to be real
It's
dangerous.
not just for STDs for kids,
Yeah, yeah.
STDs. Like there's a lot of things that we're preventing here. Like,
Mhm.
he said, "I don't use condoms."
That's a bold statement. Why
I'm
would
sorry,
you say
we
something
went so off the
brave?
wall.
Yeah,
What were we even talking about?
I don't know.
I think it was
just
like we had,
It was
it went from a
definitely-
look at God moment
definitely
to the
my fault.
fleshlight.
I am
Oh,
so
no!
sorry.
That's how he looks.
We need to change it to I See You Universe for this episode.
That's
Slow down.
That's better than going out and getting a prostitute.
Yeah,
your dick will be clean.
True.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Hopefully it
it's
washes
probably
your dick.
dishwasher safe.
It
too.
has like a lube, like
Probably throw
That's
that
a
thing.
fucking robot.
You
there's
throw
a
it in the dishwasher.
lubrication mechanism. Like
It cleans
when you
itself.
watch the video, it has like a lubrication mechanism.
Oh, so it
like
gets
it pumps it in. I watched the video.
So it gets wetter if you talk
I might
to
be
it.
gone sometimes.
Yeah,
You
say
know,
something
my
sweet to
nigga
it.
needs something.
Oh.
I am so plain.
The prototype gonna eat their dick off.
Fuck yeah.
That prototype.
You know how many dudes had to die before they got that
for that
model?
picture?
Before they put it out on the
They
market?
put that shit on a monkey first.
Like, all right, we got it. Now who's
outta
who's
here.
ready to try it out first?
Right. Rent is due tomorrow.
50.
50.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, but okay. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I was like, we're gonna keep
Thank
going.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on our
Thank you,
show.
yes.
This was a very fun show, to say the least. And please tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, please, guys. Any social media, it's Brody the Joker, Broady the Joker. And yeah.
Where can you find you, Carlos?
You can find me on Instagram, ridiculous, RIDICU_LOS.
How long you gonna keep it on that one? You change it
I
every
change it up every time. So follow me now, and then
Yeah.
Some other
it'll be
It'll be in our description too. We put everything in our description. Yeah.
or just Google me.
Oh, Google me.
Okay, Google me, bitch.
Blanc.
Yeah, don't Google me. some weird videos with flashlights are gonna come up with me.
Just you guys with the
Yeah,
machine.
just me going. Oh! Brody was making a lot of jokes about it. Then he got one.
It's like breaking news.
Machine eats whole black man's penis.
You girl?
No, right? She's like, I'm 14. What if, oh my god, what if they had that? There's sorry, this is really off subject, but there's like a guy who like never got, he didn't mature, so they started using him in like porns as like, he looks like a child fucking women. I know it's really off the wall. It's like Japanese. They do some weird shit.
They
out
do.
there.
They're crazy.
There's a murderer who became a porn star because his dad was rich, so he got out of the murder case, but he
was a cannibal, actually.
he ate a girl. He
Yeah,
shot her
he was
and
a
ate
cannibal.
her.
Damn.
Like he didn't
Yeah.
eat all of her because he was like small, but like his
So
dad.
many jokes in there.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right?
He went from eating girls to eating girls. He went from murdering to murdering pussy. Like he went so many.
Need to send you that episode.
So many.
Yeah.
You need that
I just
story.
listened to that episode.
Yeah,
What is
he was.
this song?
It's on My Favorite Murder. It's another podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
need some
love
good. I love
podcasts.
podcasts too. I
It's
listen
two
to Serial.
comedians, right?
Yeah, it's two comedians, Georgia Hardstarf and Karen Kilgariff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they talk about murders. They're not laughing about murders, but they're two very funny people. So they make you listening to these horrific stories hilarious. You know, and so yeah, and he went on to do porn of him eating women. Like he's acting. Oh, I'm eating.
It's
women.
like these tall ass women too. Like they always
Yeah.
had like tall ass women and then little O him because he was
Yeah.
like 4'11".
Yeah,
Oh,
they
wow.
had girls that looked like the girl he killed. They were just so
Oh.
fucking weird.
It's some Russian shit.
No, it's like Japanese, and
Oh,
like
okay.
the whole
Yeah.
country hates him, and he's like free,
Mhm.
Wow.
living his
Yeah.
life because he killed somebody.
And he had a learning discipline.
No, he was just disabled. Like he
Yeah.
didn't grow well.
Which in Japan is just a regular American person.
Right. We all have deficiencies
Yeah.
at this point.
No, they just think we kill people
Mhm.
every day.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean,
Government wants
We do.
as many
It's very
people to
true.
die as possible.
niggas die every day, B. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
that's why they don't
not-
do
that's
nothing
not
about all
kind.
these killings. They're like, oh yeah, they helped us out a little
Like,
bit.
whew, it's nice. Yeah.
Man, we ain't got the reality space anyway.
Right,
Fuck
we ain't
'em.
got no houses for y'all.
So I just stay strapped.
Get the strap.
Yeah, I was about to say, I almost said keep the strap.
Keep the strap on me.
But just so you guys know, since we're gonna
keep
keep going
getting
off
off
subject, you
It's
guys
too
can find us
funny. It's too
on-
funny.
You guys can find us on Apple Podcasts. Search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There's no G at the end of Gettin. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and we see those reviews on there. Thank you so much. Also, you can find us on SoundCloud.com /WeAreYAGIP. Please follow us, comment there, comment back, and we see all y'all listening from around the world. We're also on YouTube. Search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There is no G at the end of Gettin. Please subscribe on there, comment on there, and we'll comment back. We're also on GooglePlay, Stitcher, and Pocket Casts.
Okay. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at YAGI_podcast. We also have our Facebook, facebook.com/ YAGIPOD. Almost fucking
you
forgot.
got it, girl.
And then we have our website, www.weareYAGIP.com. And then we also have 2 forms of communication. Our email, Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com. Or our Google Voice number, where you can either call and leave a voicemail if you're like a god, or you could just like send us shit on there.
Yeah.
You know, no dick pics.
Exactly.
And the number is 323-486-3811. Also, no fleshlight ads. We do not need them.
No.
We do not need those at all.
Unless y'all want to drop bread and sponsor.
Right?
Exactly.
I'll do a commercial every fucking time.
What you said.
Guys, when I'm not on Nickelodeon, I'm fucking robots.
Totally forgot about that. I'm like, damn, nigga, kids be seeing you, and
They
you got
do.
one.
Very much. That switch it all around, yeah.
Shit. I'm like, we have explicit on YouTube.
I gotta know how they got here.
Learn early.
Thank y'all so
It
much.
wasn't a fleshlight.
Episode 54 in the books.
Yeah,
We did it. Peace.
Bye.